with you on this one, being prepared for that cold weather.
Yeah, got everybody in here. So yeah,
One of the things, people we don't realize a lot of times, it's just not having it. It's we don't understand the effects that it has on us. Cold weather is just not about being uncomfortable. It's about, what it does to our bodies. So health wise, there are things that are going on that, we need to, address and be aware of when it comes to cold weather. We could talk about some of those things, we get a few more people in, but it has a total
yeah,
effect on you. When you're out there in that cold, it's going to make you feel some kind of way. It's going to make you
that's so
feel
true.
something. So we want to be aware of that.
Hello,
Carbon
hey,
Buddy, how
what's
y'all
going
doing?
I
on?
can't do it like
Y'all would laugh if y'all don't. I got on the camera and I forgot to take my rollers out. That's my
Well,
fault.
you
I,
know
I,
what?
I got mine out.
That's all good because
You
I
did good.
just
You did
clicked
good.
on the camera and everything, so you're all good.
Okay, hi everybody, how you doing?
Doing good. Doing good. How you
Hi,
doing?
Doing good.
Say
Ted.
Jason up in the building, West Coast brother. What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
The trio Virgo, Jay Smith,
Hi
Tap In
Tappin.
Productions.
Tap in productions. How
Hi
you doing?
Mama. Hot tub.
Trail.
Yeah,
I'm listening to Virgo. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? I hope your week is going well.
Yes, sir. It's nice to see
it's
y'all
all good.
online. Nice to see y'all. Yes, sir.
If you guys would have saw it, you'd have laughed.
It would
I'm
have been
like,
Oh,
funny.
I'm like, wait a minute, I got rollers in.
hey, don't feel bad. I was me and like Poindexter up here chopping it up, and I looked up. Oh, we ain't live yet.
I was
Just
wondering, I was
chopping
thinking my
away.
screen. It was like,
I was like, where's everybody?
there we go. There we go. We got it under control. My
Oh
Fly
man,
family. My
we,
Fly
what's
family.
going on?
we're
How you
good
doing?
now.
How y'all doing?
Yeah.
Right. Hi,
Okay.
my fly family.
It's the same thing. It was like,
Sorry.
Yeah.
so,
Dream team is in effect. So yeah, I was talking to Pondexter, Carbon Q,
Okay.
about items that you have to change out and things you have to change around due to the season, and it's getting winter time. So location, some people might not have to change out their weapons and items in their bug out bag, get home bag, or bug in bag, or EDC.
Okay.
So yeah, just going over that with him.
Okay. Sounds great. Um, you guys want to continue?
well, I know I was going to talk about some of the health aspects. People don't
Okay.
realize that, in the wintertime, part of that survival is being able to, survive when those weather changes come in. It has a significant effect on your health. So you have to prepare for that.
Right.
Just as little as a 2-degree change in temperature has a significant effect on the work that your heart has to do. That's why you have so many people during the winter having heart attacks and out there trying to just walk outside or shovel in snow, this and that and the other, because what you're doing is those vessels constrict peripherally, especially starting out, and then that increases the resistance that the heart has to pump against. So it's a definite response to that cold that no matter how tough you are, your body's going to respond like that. So if you're out there shoveling snow or walking and you're not in the best of shape, that's going to significantly tax your heart and make it work harder. And it's like a downward spiral. It needs more oxygen because it's working harder. It's working harder because it doesn't have enough oxygen. It doesn't have enough blood flow, so it keeps going down. So one of the things you could do is making sure that you dress warmly. We'll talk about dressing warmly, but you have to be aware of it. That's a significant effect that it has on your health. So you want to prepare for that always and try to be aware of those signs and symptoms of heart attack, especially in the cold. It doesn't take much. Like I said, a 2-degree change in temperature has a significant effect on your heart. So that's just one of the things. I was going to talk about another thing too, since you're indoors a lot of the time. People don't realize that when you're indoors in enclosed environment, all those allergens increase in your home. It's enclosed. So you have to make sure that you change those filters. And the allergens are important for your upper respiratory health and your overall body health. Our kids are having significant incidents, increases in the amount of asthma and allergen type illnesses, which also affect your body, lupus, all these other illnesses that they're taking back to allergies. So when your home's closed in, you're in the wintertime, You have to make sure that you try to maintain that clean environment as much as possible. So changing those filters and stuff like that, making sure your environment is clean. If you can open up and air out your house for an hour or two, that's important. Used to already know our ancestors. I remember my grandmother and grandfather, open up the windows for a couple hours and just let that fresh air come in. So you have to do those kind of things. So those were just two quick things that I want to cover. There's some others, but I'll go ahead and let somebody else talk a little bit there. But
Um, those are great points. Getting fresh air is a. Can you guys hear me, or is it a feedback?
Oh yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
So many things open. Hold on. Okay. Um, Fresh air is really great. Wintertime comes, you're not going to get a lot of sunlight, and your body needs sunlight to do a lot of things. It also affects your depression if you suffer from depression. Helps alleviate it. Just I forgot what it's called, but it's the rhythm, the time rhythm in your body.
Circadian rhythm.
Thank you. Right, that it stabilizes that a little bit. So trying to get out and get some sunlight, natural sunlight. If you can't, there's they have these lamps that are out that kind of do an artificial type of sun, but it kind of tricks your body into feeling like it is getting sunlight, and you kind of want that light to indirectly like absorb from the peripheral of your eyes to sink into your body. I know, Lassane. Hi, everybody. Um, there's so many things. A HEPA filter is really great to have in the house in the winter just to keep the air clean, especially if you suffer allergies or you have pets.
Exactly.
Something that you're going to want to do. Get it's like a small portable respirator because you never know when you're going to need it. And if stuff does hit the ceiling, you kind of want to have something that you can use right away.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to use it. There's like so many things that you could do, but getting into shape is like the major foundation of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you smoke, if you are overweight, if you're just stagnant and you're not moving, getting your body acclimated to movement or being without fasting.
Yeah.
These are things you want to start setting up in the winter for, because especially if you don't know if stuff is going to hit the fan. I think Troll Virgo just said they were talking about the grid in Texas going down again. You might want to get prepared for that.
They haven't fixed it. They haven't done anything to it. So the
Right.
same problem that was there before is going to occur again. I want to follow up on that. Winter depression, that is a very serious thing. It's not a joke. As your levels of vitamin D increase, and we're melanated people, so we need that sun to help activate that vitamin D. You start going through those bouts and those changes in your mental well-being, and it makes you feel a little bit different. So making sure you're eating correctly, even if you have to supplement vitamin D, that helps to increase your mood. But exercise also does that without having to take anything extra. So get that exercise. Pay attention to your well-being and your mental health in the wintertime, because that's just natural. So get that vitamin D up, get that exercise, get out there and get that sun when you can. It's very, very important. So definitely want to talk on that.
And that's just your physical. You also have to take care of your mental. But one thing before I go into that, seasonal depression, if you already suffer from PTSD, anxiety, any form of depression, however, you're diagnosed or whatever the case may be, it's triggered from seasonal depression. Then you gotta, like, the holidays are around, divorce rates, separation, you
Memories.
can't take it from you, right? Exactly, especially military vets and anybody else that's in the military, not just veterans, but everybody as a whole. Um, Flashbacks, things like that. These are things that people are probably suffering with on their own, because there's a stigma with mental health and getting help for it, especially within the Black community. We're taught to be strong, and that's nothing. We've dealt with worse, but it is a trauma. It is something that you may not even realize is a trauma, but it is a trauma. Like this past 2 years have been crazy, just looking at the news and seeing someone with their knee on someone's neck, with people being shot. It's trauma just walking out your door and seeing your own fighting each other. those are traumas that we think is every day, but it really is a trauma.
Yeah.
And we have to be aware of that, and we have to address it. There's nothing wrong about with going to get counseling, or just even if you go to talk to somebody and air it out and just get it off your chest and realize that you're not the only one that is going through that. There's so many people that's going through it. Being strong is one thing, and just piling on trauma on top of trauma and not dealing with it is a whole other thing. And you have, oh, why did he just go inside there and kill everybody? We're not addressing the issues that we need to address as a community. So this time of year, any time of year, take the time out to talk to somebody. That is so important. Just ask them how they're doing, and if they don't look okay, push the issue. Well, you don't look yourself, you don't sound yourself. What's going on? We got to start somewhere, and we got to start healing a lot of trauma. The people that are suffering the most right now are our youth. They go through so many things that we never had to deal with in our day and age. We had our own stuff, but it wasn't as volatile. It wasn't as deadly. It wasn't as aggressive as what we had to deal with. They deal with a lot. And then when you put into play of drugs and things like that, that's their coping mechanism. We got to really start paying attention to them, talking to them, getting them some help. They're seeing friends die left and right. And we're just like, oh, you're sorry, or they, pour some liquor out, gather together for a day or so, and then we send them back on their own. That's something hard to deal with.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to deal with, but yeah.
We got to have those community support mechanisms, and people we can reach out to. No matter how you do it, make sure you reach out and to your people, to your friends and family, because you never know, you may be that person that just is that last lifeline for them who want to do something that they can't recover from. So it's very important, like you said, the youth. My son over the last year and a half, having to be in his advanced placement programs and trying to do that remotely. And I would ask him, how are you doing? It's like, Dad, it's hard doing, it's hard. He's really happy to be back on campus and doing that kind of thing. So you just see a change in his whole demeanor, just being involved and having people, so it's real. And we are dealing with it, each and every day. A lot of people, you have a lot of veterans in this community and online and stuff like that. So like you said, that's real. So, wintertime does trigger a lot of those things. I've caught myself, during those times, like, wait a second, where did that thought come from? Where did that idea go? It's like, why am I feeling so, and it's a conversation. So, and especially in the holidays when you're expected to be happy and, she's being so,
yeah,
anyway.
I like to say thank both of y'all for coming here and being on Survival Saturday, and shout out to the members in the chat. If you have something to say, if you want to reiterate, just come on in. Don't be scared, don't be shy. This is all family here, and that's what we do. Survive. We try to make sure that we all survive through this as one whole unit.
Chilling in the woods. Yeah, sometimes that's a good thing. Get out, like you said, get out there in the woods. Do those things that kind of lift your spirits. Don't be feel obligated. Oh, I got to go buy this. I got to go buy that. That's all part of that mental well-being. You get to look out after that kind of stuff. Don't be beholden to those ideas of going out and just forcing yourself to be happy by buying stuff. Do those things that really make you feel a little bit better about your situation and stuff like that, and reach out to each other. That's what's important. So
absolutely. Speaking of going out in the weather, in the woods, make sure you have good boots, winter boots, if that's your climate. If it's not your climate, still have some really good hiking boots, or just good boots, period. Have some wool socks. Wool socks are great.
Yeah.
Have an extra pair of changing clothes, whether they're those, again, the climate, so thermal, put them inside your bag. Put things, a hat, a balaclava, a scarf, gloves. Gloves are really important. Your hands get cold, it's a wrap.
Exactly.
Make
Yeah.
sure you protect your body from the elements. So
And now,
just, I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was going to say that wool is important. People don't realize that
Yeah.
wool is better insulator than cotton because what happens is in the cotton, those fibers are packed closely together, but they have holes in them which basically get filled with water. So if you're sweating, if you're in a humid environment, that's just going to hold that moisture into your feet. That's not a good situation, especially when it's cold. That's where you're going to get frostbite.
Right.
Whereas the wool is more has a scalar structure, so it retains spaces which have air in them, which insulates a little bit better when it's wet. So, you want to make sure you get those wool gloves. You want to get those wool socks. I know coming up in the Boy Scouts, they really push that. And then being out in the field, get those wools, get those things that keep you warm. So, you know, it's very important.
I got a I got a question also. Is fleece a good insulator or is a bad insulator? What do you feel about fleece?
Fleece is a type of wool, right? So
Yeah,
if
that's
they say
right.
it is a good insulator, if it can keep a sheep warm, it can keep a man warm. It's kind of like one of those things.
Just want to make sure the crowd out
Once
here
again,
knows that
it's
you
on
can
that
wear
principle.
fleece.
If you have those, layers, of course, layering, that's an important thing. But you want to have something that's, especially when it gets wet, when it's moist. So,
Right.
it insulates a lot better than cotton. Cotton just can insulate well, but once it gets wet, it's done. It's just
Yeah.
holding that moisture onto your body, onto your feet, which is in a cold environment, that's not good at all. So,
Yeah, definitely. I like merino wool.
yeah.
It's soft, but it's really good.
And there's different levels and wool blankets too. That's the other thing too. Go to the surplus store, get you some wool blankets, and throw them.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're making like hoodies and jackets out of the army blankets now.
See,
There's a company. They're getting
Oh
the
wow.
there
yeah,
you
they're
go.
taking them and they're turning them into
So
hoodies and like bug out jackets.
See,
If
there
you
you
want for
go.
the lids, yeah, it's
Repurpose that
crazy.
stuff, man, because that's what we used to do. We used to get them and put them at, around your shoulder.
blankets, yeah, them
That's
blankets
the
keep
whole
you
thing.
warm.
Those wool blankets go a long way, and then of course, your thermal survival.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Have these in your car. Especially if you're out driving cross country in a cold weather environment. Put these things at what 30 cents.
And yeah,
Yeah. Hand
Put
warmers.
these in your car in your trunk. Wrap yourself in them. They really do work. So
yeah. And
have
if
those
you
kind of
have
things.
tape inside there, you can make a nice little shelter. You could do it's a lot you can do with those things. So and they're so light. Like
This is nothing. You could put
yeah,
50 of these in a box and just go.
then you're good to
So
go.
you're good to go. So yeah, get those things and have them on hand, and they're not that
Yeah.
expensive. So I'm gonna look for those fleece hoodies. Though that sounds fun.
Yeah,
Sounds
I'm
fun.
gonna go back and find the company, but they
Maybe
just
Ampu and Jay Smith Tactical can get those things in inventory. And that was the question I had. I wanted to ask both of those if they can get those kind of things as we come up with stuff, so we
mhm.
can make sure we're doing business with them as well. So in fact, I need to get some food from Ampu. Some more food
Yeah.
I need to order from him. But,
Oh,
yeah.
speaking of the food,
No.
I forgot the name of the company. I have it over there, but they went out of business. They shut down.
Oh,
Yeah,
What?
and whatever they have left, it begins with the A. I forgot the name, but they have the big tins. It
yeah,
has a
Hmm.
white label.
yeah. I think I know. So
They
they have
went,
like a sale on all their stuff now.
they closed down, and I think supposed to. Angry Pepper was talking about it. They're supposed to open back up in January, but
Hmm.
as for now, you really can't get anything from them except for what's on Amazon. They said so.
Wow.
A lot. I wonder if that's related to some of the supply chain stuff that's going on.
Right, exactly. And if one does it, you
Others.
don't have your stuff, you know, pretty much safe to say it's going to happen to a couple other places. So stock up on those things if you don't have it.
That's part of that winter survival. If there's a shortage on this stuff and you don't have it now, by the time you can get it, you're not going to need it. It's going to be too late. So
Right. They might have it, but they don't have anybody to deliver it to you.
yeah, I think they had like 39 tankers that are sitting off the shore of Southern California, and they're trying to go 24/7, 365 to try to but it's like a cascading effect. So
It's
make sure
crazy.
you guys address some of these things sooner rather than later.
I'd like to be a pirate.
There you
Hmm.
go. Jack, what other-
Oh
I'm
my
your
God.
captain now.
Right. I don't know. This is crazy.
So it wasn't Ready Wise. That's one of the
No, it
people
wasn't
that's
Red
big
Wire.
name.
I'm trying to
If
think. Yeah.
it begins with an A, it's a kind of a long name, and they sell the big tins of stuff.
Gotcha.
I Delray then. I'll go
Right
to
there.
look at it. Matter of fact, I could do it right now.
Yeah, I just put out. Y'all go check out kfossurvival.com for your first aid and survival needs. Don't forget to check him out.
Mamba Tactical.
Mhm.
Yeah, my brother Mambo on the
Yeah.
West Coast.
I'm gonna hop off for 1 second and then I'm gonna drop the links and come right back in. But I just want to tell
Okay.
you, if you don't have your seeds, your gardening seeds, your herbal seeds, your medicinal
Hmm.
seed packets, start getting those together.
I want to talk about that because I'm just now starting to getting into that or looking into that, like hydroponic farming and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Do you do any of that, Carver?
not the
Here it comes.
hydroponic because I guns. I have a thing about bugs, so I didn't want it in. I tried it once, and it was like these little bugs, and it was driving me nuts. I couldn't take it, so I was
Aphids or something?
yeah.
Yeah.
It is. That's one thing. Yeah, if you're doing that. What's up,
It's
guy with a hookah?
What's
What's
going on,
happening?
Hooker?
PP, double OG, triple OG, MHP, double OG, triple OG, Carbon,
What's going
woo,
on?
double OG, triple OG, the Survival Saturdays, baby. Shout out to people who said what's up to your boy, My Fly Family, Hot Tub, Trill. If I
Yeah.
missed you, I'm sorry. I'm gonna catch you on the back end, but you know this
What's
is
going, Coy?
Koi up in the building.
boy Dizzle.
Bitcoin.
Yo, we do. Hey, yo,
Double
yeah, you know,
roll.
yeah.
August.
Y'all talking about I see some mental health. Del Rey, what's that? Ooh, what's that?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that went. They closed down,
Mm.
and they
Oh,
sell a
I
lot of
got some.
survival. Uh-huh.
I got some.
So,
I'm all up. Yeah, cause I was just talking about seeds. I jumped on it. I bought me some seeds during the plague. You know, cause I know you get, you got to put them in a nice, cool, cool spot to keep them. Cause they good for, if you keep them refrigerated, right? I heard they're good for like 15 years, something like that. If you,
in the refrigerator.
mm-hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
Gotta do it,
Yeah,
man.
vegetable section.
And there's certain fruits and vegetables and things you should eat during that season too. That's one of the things we've gotten away from. We
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
365, tomatoes or 365
Right.
days a year peaches. It's like you're not meant to eat, be grown during certain seasons. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
So we need
Right.
to kind
Hi,
of
Ada.
know what's out there. So and modify our diets, to eat what's in season. So if you
Right.
grow it,
Yeah.
it's
Facts, big facts.
so we need to look into that, do some maybe some research on how we can do that. So that's one of the things I'm looking at to try to
Yeah.
maintain a better state of health, in the proper season. So
Yeah.
And vitamins. Make sure you got your vitamin D3, B, all those
D.
supplements that you need.
R double G, what up? Jay
what
Smith,
up? What up? What up?
Here, D.
All
but
right,
Jay, you
GG in
definitely,
the building.
yeah, man. But Jay, you definitely need. I heard all of you guys also talk about, definitely mental health, which is going to be one of the things that me and my partner on C Shenanigans and that's going to cover a healthy dose of. That's very important, as Barbecue said, that we got to keep our minds right as well as our bodies, as everybody is stating, because without that, man,
Hey, Zach.
everything else kind of falls apart. So you got to keep that noodle right, y'all, as right as
Yeah.
you can.
Oh yeah.
It's always.
Mhm.
Yep. And you talked about like clean air as well. You brought that up too, right?
Yeah.
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 Dehumidifier.
The
Yes.
prayer.
And everybody should know what a dehumidifier is. If you should at least have one in your gun safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
importance of that is, for the health wise, is what I was going to talk about is mold. That's one of the primary indoor pathogens. And mold is hard. Once it gets in, it's hard to kill and it has some crazy effects on your body. You start looking at some of the literature on what mold, especially black mold, can
Oh
do to
yeah.
your body. They can literally drive you insane. They can
Insane.
literally shut down your body system. So you want to maintain
You
that
have,
right level of humidity indoors.
That black mold is nasty
It's
stuff, man.
bad. And then on
especially
top
if
of
you
that,
have asthma or anything like that.
it's just that's a trigger.
It'll shut it down. Right. Hi, GMF.
So,
It's really bad on the East Coast. I
yeah,
mean, some of the houses in Carolina and Virginia, that mold and that dampness, because people
Yeah.
don't change out the installation.
yeah,
And they buying homes and they don't realize, wait a minute, this installation that you got is obsolete. You
yeah.
need to pull that out.
Yeah.
And they
Or
don't do
even
that. And you open up the attic and the attic looking,
Yes.
like
You
it
can
in a
smell it.
tire.
Yeah, you can smell it as soon as you hit the house. And even if you're renting, a lot of these landlords are not doing the proper procedures to make sure that they go in and retroactively or go back in and clean up those areas. So they'll knowingly rent a home that's contaminated with mold to a family with children and stuff like that, and not knowing that that's going to have effects on that family. So you have to really look out for that and take that seriously, because that's another thing that
Yeah, I remember places like New York, New Jersey that had that flood.
Hey, Fam, what up?
That's crazy now.
you can't play around with that. You've seen just too many instances of where people have
Yeah.
serious health effects and death from that mold.
Yep.
So don't take it lightly. And
Try to get
you can go to the city in most places and get a sample. They have a way you can go and get it tested to see what type of mold it is. All mold is bad, especially most times around windowsills. You'll get some, but they'll tell you exactly the strain that you have and whether or not you need to do something. And usually, if you're renting a place, especially if there's mold in there, they hold them accountable and they can start getting fines. And I know that can be kind of a touchy situation, but you have to weigh that. What's more important. So.
look what Delray Dan said. Some homes he sold had original insulation, and it was over 45 years old.
Mm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So what's up in there? What are you breathing in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially in that closed environment.
Yeah, and I like to point out too, you can go online to the Pollen and Mold Center, and they would give you an update on the pollen and mold in your location.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. And the other thing too, since we're inside a lot, sometimes we're burning, things, carbon monoxide levels. That's a serious thing. So you should have your carbon monoxide sensors. If you don't have those are relatively inexpensive to get. So you want to make sure you maintain proper levels of carbon monoxide, because that has an effect on your sharpness, but it can also kill you. It's a silent killer. So if you're coming into a home and noticing people are a little lethargic, usually they'll pink up. You can kind of see it as an EMT. You can spot when somebody's been exposed to carbon monoxide. People are going to try to warm up their cars in the morning, so they may have a dwelling above their garage and not realizing that they're pumping carbon monoxide into their home. So that's another way. So you got to be a little cognizant of when you're doing things that you may not normally do during the winter, in the summer during the winter. So make sure you have adequate ventilation. You're not doing dangerous type behaviors, and have something that can monitor those carbon monoxide levels in your home, because that's again another silent killer. Doesn't take much.
Delray Dan said you can get air scrubbers for your HVAC systems.
Yeah. That's another thing. So, knowing's half the battle. Getting out there and knowing what's available and just putting those things in place. A lot of times we just think, it's just there. It's, we don't have to really worry about this. As long as I'm indoors and warm, it's all good. But again, anytime you're closed up in that environment, everything else is closed up in there with you. So you got to make sure that there are no pathogens, not any things like that, that you can handle and keep it at a low level, so it doesn't affect your winter health. So it's real, man.
True.
So going back to the Texas grid going down, I hope people have their generators, extra food, extra clothing, a lot of that no spec plastic painters thing. The sheet of I forgot what it's called. It's a roll, but it's a sheet of plastic in case anything happens to your home. You could do a quick cover up and just insulate yourself, make a shelter. Go back and watch what happened the last time and see all the things that you were unable to get. Have your fuel, whatever source you're going to use for your fuel, butane, all the other things. They have these little, I forgot what you call them, these little containers that have all these different types of fuels that you can use. Stock up on those, have them at the ready in case if it does go down, it could be able to maintain until it's back up and running. Since they haven't fixed it, you said?
They haven't done anything. They haven't changed any of the infrastructure. The governors, right after that happened, they gave everybody guns. So that's supposed to make everybody forget. So they said, hey, you guys can all carry guns now, but they didn't address any of those issues. And people have been pointing that out, that, okay, what infrastructure changes have you made? None.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
So if it happens again, we're kind of stuck. And butane's already getting harder and harder to get. I buy
Fine.
some every time I go to the store. I just came from the store earlier, and it's getting harder and harder to find those. So I don't know if that shortage situation you were talking about with other things, and may be affecting that as well. So again, get in early, people. Get your stuff. Be prepared
Yeah.
early. Don't wait
Keep
because
cash on you. Keep small amounts of cash, not large amounts, not amounts, but denominations. Don't do 100. Do smaller ones, $5 bills, $10 bills, whatever, so that you're able to at least, if you can pick up something, if you can't get to the ATM, like in Louisiana, they couldn't get any money out of the ATMs because the whole power was down.
yeah,
You don't want to be left without anything. Get little items for bartering, like liquor, cigarettes. Even though I know that it's bad for your health, but at the end of the day, it's gonna help you out in a pinch. Get it. Sugar, honey, batteries. Keep those things on hand. So if you don't have something, you can trade it with somebody else and get what you need. If you're parents and you have a young child, stock up on that baby formula if you're not breastfeeding. And even if they are breastfeeding, you don't know what your food and your food source is going to be for a minute. So the mom might not be able to produce milk like she was producing before. Water might be, at a shortage. Still have some milk put aside for the child, even though you can freeze breast milk. But if the power goes down, it might not last. So if you have children, just think about those things that you might need if the grid goes down. But if it happened the first time and they haven't fixed anything, it's probably going to happen again.
exactly.
Yeah.
One thing I
That's
want
so
to say,
true.
like comfort items too. Don't forget, mental part of your mental health is having things that make you feel good. So get you some bars of chocolate, get you some, whatever your
Mhm.
comfort food, and have those things on stock too. Don't just try to go Rambo and I'm gonna eat beetle eggs and all this other stuff. Have you some,
Yeah.
you know, have you some good stuff too, so you can treat yourself every now and then.
True. So
It's
true.
already a tough situation. A little bar of candy can, kind of raise your spirits,
Yeah.
make you feel, and everybody else feel a whole lot better. So do
Mhm.
some of those things. One thing I was thinking though, we talk about power and perimeter security and stuff like that. If the power goes out, what kind of ideas do you guys have of kind of setting up, some type of maybe early warning systems or something to kind of alert if somebody's like trying to enter your home? Any ideas on what to do with that?
Is he still inside here? Delray
Who's
Dan?
that?
Delray Dan.
Yeah. That door
Oh,
bell
Delray,
over the
you should
door.
come on and talk about the perimeter. Hi, Ace.
Ace.
Well, I'm gonna hop off because I want to drop the links inside the thing, inside the chat.
Okay.
yeah. Hey, what up, brother? But I was just thinking, what kind of things, we could use to, kind of do that because,
He
power's down.
mentioned a while back, you put a bell over your door in case anybody entrance and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
just simple things that you, like you say, you cut wood to secure your windows.
Koi dogs,
Little
yeah,
item.
baby dogs, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to think about those things because a lot of us depend on power, and when the power went out here, people at work couldn't even get in the buildings because everything was electronic. So we have to think
Wow.
about entry and exit of our homes. Making sure you have your keys available and
Yeah.
secure. I think we talked about having those survival keys that you can get you a tractor or something like that, maybe jacked
Yeah.
up.
Bobcat.
But just make sure you have those things. So we are so dependent on power. A lot of times we don't think about okay, what do we do when we don't have that? So especially in the wintertime, it's very important.
Yeah.
You don't want to be stuck outside of your home or outside of a building if you can avoid it.
Yeah. And if those people like me, people that live in apartments, have the maintenance man to come by and change the batteries if you don't know how to. Because a lot of those key locks, those keyless entries where you mash the pad and all that, they have batteries in them. And
Yeah,
sometimes they go out. You sit there for a whole year thinking you're good. Next year come around, you can't access your own place.
yeah, yeah. And they just changed ours to that keyless
Yeah.
that punch pad too. So that's a good
Yeah.
point. I didn't even think about
Yeah.
that.
Make sure that bottom lock, just to be safe, make sure you got a key for that.
Yeah.
I tell anybody, yeah, they can say this or that, but that keyless entry on top, but you got that bottom part that you add a lot to. Just make your stuff secure because you don't know what they're doing. You know,
Or who
they could be
actually has
scoping
something with
you
it.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Right.
Gun Hooker, where are you located physically in the DMV area?
I'm in the DMV area. Yep.
You guys get
Um,
any snow up there or a lot of cold
we
weather?
oddly enough, because of global warming and all that stuff going on, extreme climate changes, we don't get the snow we used to get. And even in the area I live in, it's rare that we get heavy with snow. Growing, upstate New York, we used to get hit with 4 or 5 feet of snow like it was nothing. 3 feet of
Yeah.
snow was a 2 hour delay. We got hit with a massive ice storm one time and knocked out power. But we had a wood stove and all that stuff, so that helped keep the house warm for that time that we were out of power. But so I'm kind of acclimated to that cold weather. Been in, places like Korea where it gets extremely cold. We're talking sub-zero, right? Anybody who's been in the coldest I've been was negative 30. I've been in those climates, and that's why I harp on with when we go out shooting. Just go back to shooting for a minute. It's cool, and and anybody who take it, they take it. It's cool when you out there and it's sunny and it's clear and it's crispy and you looking sharp as hell out there doing that good training. Get your ass in that cold, sub-zero, 50 and it's teens, and you shivering. Not only are you testing yourself, what's up, Ace from BK, baby? You're also testing your weapon system because those two also get cold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to see what the heck you got going on. It's just going to be the battle between you and that because we seen Texas is rare that you see Texas get hit with cold. Cold in Texas is 45 degrees. They got hit with ice storms.
Yeah.
Knocked out
Yeah.
their power grid.
Yeah.
You don't know where, and it snowed in Egypt. So nobody is safe from extreme cold climate. So the best thing to do is start getting out there. I know you like to train. Get out there in those elements because it's great when it's sunny. It's sunny and nice out there. You might as well be inside. You might as well be indoors shooting your gun, static shooting. Get in those elements and get yourself right because you never know. The shit hits the fan scenario might be a giant ice storm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's real. And your body reacts different when it gets cold. When you get out there, I remember the worst thing I ever had. We're up in the San Bernardino Mountains doing our roast course. And it's like sleeting and snowing and that. And you're up on belay and they're telling you to do this. And you're telling your fingers to do stuff. And it's like, your fingers aren't doing it. Your fingers are like,
doing it, man.
You, man. I'm not working. So you got to, like I agree, get out there and train
hands up like this to get that blood flow. When you're in your gloves, you take your fingers out your gloves and you hold like a ball fist real tight to get that blood flow so you can warm your hands up.
Yeah.
It's difficult when it's cold out there. Yeah. Your body, like BP said, your body will seize up on you. Yeah. And you ain't prepared for it. Like I said, it's cool to be tactical when it's nice outside.
Yeah.
Get out there when it's cold.
That's real.
Korea weather and that Russian weather. Ooh,
they called it cold Korea for a reason. It get cold, man. Look. So that's
you can't even. You can't even drink warm. You can't even. That's the only place you know.
And in the killer part is, and people that aren't used to it think that immediately when your hands is cold, the worst thing you want to do is run your hands under some hot water or warm.
No. All that stuff, you don't want to quickly warm anything.
You don't want to quickly. Oh no, that's a gradual thing you got to do because you will do more damage
to the tissue and you release those toxins into your system. Just out at a rush, it's like that will. Yeah, that's
it could almost be a static. It could be like a shock to the system.
It is. That's what will happen.
And the flip side of it too, when it's hot outside, everybody likes that ice cold water. You don't want to drink ice cold water when it's extreme heat.
That's warm to room temperature.
Yeah, buddy. We don't think about, and that's just basic stuff. I mean, we talk about survival stuff, and I think a lot of times we get caught up in the worst case scenario, but we don't think about basic everyday stuff like just checking your foundation, checking your insulation. I didn't think about that stuff, and checking your ventilation systems, and that's just basic stuff right there that kills more people globally than any major cataclysmic episode.
check your heating systems. A lot of times that's
Yeah.
leaking carbon monoxide. You have to have those, again, alerts set up, those systems set up to let you know when you turn that heater on that hasn't been on for 6 months in some places. In Texas, we hardly ever use our heaters. It's like, so
Yeah.
make
Oh
sure
yeah,
that you're not
yeah.
pumping that carbon dioxide, that system's faulty. So check
Yeah,
that
no.
stuff. Make
If
sure it's great.
you smell eggs and you ain't made no breakfast,
Yeah.
you might, ain't nobody fault. You might want to check
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah.
That's
You
terrible.
get that strange headache.
Yeah,
That
start feeling
headache hit you. Like,
lethargic,
wait
headaches.
a
Yeah,
minute. Yeah.
pay attention. Look around. If people start pinking up, and that's that carbon monoxide increase, and you're looking extra pink. So you want to make sure you take care of those things and pay attention to all that. It's
No
not a
doubt.
joke.
Speaking of which, make sure it's getting to the cold season. If you have snow in your area, buy your rock salt now. Buy your de-icers for your locks now. Especially in Texas, if that does happen to you,
You can't find rock salt, but yeah, they got to get gravel. They use gravel down here.
right. Tell Amazon to send it to you. um,
Yeah.
just have it on deck.
Case for survival.
Something, right? Just have those things on deck, and those are like everyday items. If you make sure you have your fire extinguishers, your ABCs, your fire blankets, the fire ladder. If you have a two-story, upstairs, downstairs, 3 stories, make sure you have that so you can get out, um, and get out of the fire. Pretty much, make sure your fire extinguishers are up to date. They have so many new things out to prevent a fire. Does anybody see the ball that you could just throw into the fire and
Uh-uh.
yeah, they either tell you to use
Sand.
it for a car. No, it's a ball, right?
Mhm.
I, some are different sizes. Like I think maybe a little bit smaller than a volleyball, and the other one's like a baseball.
Like carbon dioxide.
Yeah, if
Oh,
your car
nice.
was on fire, you just throw it inside the car, and it turns into a some type of foam or chemical thing and
Hmm.
puts the fire out.
Check that out.
Oh, it breaks the
Yeah,
triangle.
right. It's
Fire
makes
the
it
oxygen.
oxygen doesn't keep feeding the fire. So there's that. I did see that on Amazon. I did see some on eBay as well. You could find those. Get the fire ladder and just do a drill, throwing it out the window. Make sure that area is clear. That if you do have to use it, there's nothing blocking you, and that you're comfortable getting down it. Don't be afraid. I'm pretty sure if the fire is on your ass, I'm sorry, on the fire is right behind you, you're going to climb down that ladder. But at the end of the day,
And make sure you get a nice one with a chain. Don't get that flimsy thing where you be
right,
spinning and
Right.
like
trying to come down.
Fly Family says a smoke ball or a ball bomb. Delray says ball
no,
bomb.
Yeah,
Fly says
AFD
smoke
fireball. It
fireball.
basically
Okay.
stops fire
yeah,
disasters, and you put it near the source of the fire.
fire.
And I
Mm.
had not seen that. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I've never seen that before. That's kind of cool.
yeah. I
It's
would
like
put
a volleyball.
that in some place. Yeah, like usually if you have a stove fire, kitchen fire, grease fire, I would put that someplace in my cabinet. So even if it did get to a certain extent, that thing is just going to explode, and just put it out. Just say if you're sleeping, kids use the stove, whatever. I think it was a neat little thing. You could put it in your car.
Yeah, it works for A, B, C, and K class fires. 360 degrees, so it
Hmm.
spreads out 360 degrees. Never expires. Has a 10-year warranty. So that's something you need to
That's pretty cool. The fire
have.
extinguisher ball.
Yeah,
That's neat.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Get
that's
down
on
to it.
point.
Get down
I
to
need
it.
a couple of those. Yeah, that's see.
Just a
That's why
very-
y'all OGs in this jump, man.
There you go. That's a good one.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
And it's non-toxic according to what it says. So I'm looking
That's
at
even better.
Yeah.
Get your fire blankets. Those are really handy, especially if you have children. Throw it over them, and then you can get them from point A to point B, even if you have to run through the fire to get to the side.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. We have some firemen. I forgot. I wrote it down, and I forgot who they were, but I think there's two I know of.
In our community,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think Billy was the MT and fireman, I believe.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's one in
Delray
there.
says have a gas man near your bedside. Yeah. So you can at least you can get others outside and then go back in for others if necessary.
Right.
yeah,
Good point, Delray.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
have
Oh,
your route planned out. Know your entry exit points. A lot of times people start thinking about that in the heat of the moment and you're already, at a hyper alert, you're kind of thrown off. Do those drills in your home. I know we did them when we were younger. They have the firemen come through and tell you to, have your fire plan. Have that in place. And like Carbon said, have those tools necessary. If you have a second story, have a ladder, have a way your kids can exit if they can't get through, especially if they have to go through an area where the fire may be like a kitchen or something like that. Because, you don't want to be in a situation where, you have a family member stuck in a house and you can't get to them, and there's a fire between you and you have to decide, okay, what are you going to do? You don't want to be in that situation. So be prepared for that kind of stuff, man. You don't have to want to deal with that tragedy. Have those fire blankets, like Harbin said, and
Right.
just plan for that stuff. If you don't need it, that's fine. But if you ever have to have it, you're good. So
make sure also you have the right filters for those gas masks. Because some people will buy and go out and buy paint filters, think they'll fight, can survive a fire with paint, So make sure you get the right filters, you know,
Right.
for the gas magnets in your house.
Yes, and also prepare for the elderly. If you have somebody that's elderly living in your house, how are you going to get them out, especially if they're wheelchair ridden or bedridden? You got to have a plan for that.
Mm-hmm.
and in cold,
Bear
cold
that down.
yeah, and in cold weather, the two most affected groups are young people and older people.
Yep.
So they're
Yeah.
most susceptible to cold and heat and all these toxins. So you definitely got to look out for those people because if it gets cold, I'm getting elderly now, so I guess I'm in that group. But some of you younger people,
Hey,
you can handle it a little bit.
I got a
A little
grandson.
bit,
He'll
a
go
little
out
bit
there on the
better.
snow with shorts and t-shirt. I be looking at him like, boy, you got so them young people you got to look out for because they'll come out the house like, okay,
Not dressed for the environment. Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
summer's year round.
it's definitely feel different when you're on the upswing of 50 and in your 60s and all that stuff than when you was your teens, 20s, and 30s.
Yes.
You're invincible then. Now you're like everything expired on your body, so you can't take care of it.
Large cap.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Let me check the date on this. That's still good.
you know what I mean?
My flash said schedule those fire detectors for a battery change. You're right.
Always.
Yeah.
That could be, whether it's your birthday, pick a date that you're always going to remember, and just do it.
Yep.
Spend more time. I like to do
No.
something on my birthday. So
No,
all
it's-
my fire extinguishers, all my batteries and all my optics, all that stuff I do during that time. Make sure I have fresh batteries. If I have older batteries in the drawer, I'll buy batteries, everything on my birthday. So, pick a date and just stick to that. Just go through your house. Alarm,
Yeah.
extinguishers,
That's
smoke detectors, and just do that.
Usually I'll be pretty bad with that. Yeah, I'll be waiting until they talking to me.
And one
Yeah,
thing too, if
okay.
you got relatives that have homes, I had to go to my aunt's house and check on them. Make sure they have extra fuses for the fuse box. Make
Yeah.
sure you have those extra fuses because they blow a fuse and they think the power's out. All you got to do is reset the switch and show them and label the switch box, the fuse box for them. Also,
Yeah.
And then
Especially
check
older
the
houses
safety.
that the fuses, because a lot of us got circuit breakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little bit easier, but still, worst come to worst, hit that main one and pop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but check the functionality of those things too, because a lot of times those things are older, and if you start finding yourself those are tripping a lot and doing this and that and the other, find out why. If you are the owner, have somebody come and look at that box because that sparks a lot of fires. If it's an apartment, go have them check that box because you don't want to have that being a source of fire or an issue. So again, paying attention and taking care of those things as they come up. Don't just ignore them because again, that could be a fire hazard.
Not no Dollar Tree batteries.
Make sure they're lithium.
You may
Lithium
get
batteries
lithium.
last long.
Yeah, I get lithium. I don't get Dollar Tree batteries. Those are for like kitty stuff. I don't.
Yeah.
I use actual good batteries.
Hey,
You don't
for the
get
remote.
no Sunbeam or nothing like that. You want to get some good batteries. No, you don't want no, ever readies. You want some decent batteries.
Yeah. So I have a question. It's off topic though, because we're talking about the fire. So guns and hookah, your guns are on the wall
Mm-hmm.
and all over. So if a fire broke out, like, what do you do? Because I know you love your guns. Like, what is it that you? Because like, it's actually I just need to know. Like, what do you do with
Well,
this?
see, I contrary, I do have a safe as well. I have a 72 gun safe, which is still
Right,
not enough because you got to factor in some of your guns may have optics and all that stuff. So
right,
not you're not going to get full all in there. The second thing, the only thing you can really do is insurance, because even with a fire safe, right, it's good up to like 12 to 1400 degrees, and you're only going to get maybe an hour out of it, right?
Mm.
So even then, the guns inside will still be damaged to a degree.
right.
So the best thing you can do is insurance. Get
That's
good
what I was just trying to get. I was just trying to
insurance,
sum that up.
homeowners insurance, if your renter's insurance covers it, and they got that extra because sometimes people don't know. Okay, I got insurance, I'm good. They don't know that they're gonna give you the value they think the gun is at the time. They're not gonna give you replacement value cost. So you gotta
Yeah.
get the extra insurance as well. You would make a list of all your guns, send it to your insurance company, and they'll be able to assess it and give you. And it'll cost a little bit more, but if
More
you got
price.
a heavy if you got a valuable gun, even if you got like 3, 5, that's still money. So you buy a gun that's $1,500 and they only give you $100 for it,
Mm.
you're gonna be pissed off. So you want to
Right.
make sure you get that extra insurance to where you'll get more than for the replacement value, not just the value of the gun that you bought it, what it would cost to replace it. We've seen that guns have gone up in price because of the plague and all this other stuff, and they're going to stay there. So you want to definitely make sure that you have that covered. All my high end firearms, like some of these, I'll put in the safe because some of them are rare. But
Right.
my rare ones, stuff I'll put in the safe, and it'll be as safe as I possibly can have them. All my other ones, I'll just have the insurance to take care of it. I'll have to just eat it, and the insurance to take care of it. You know,
Hey, guns.
Mhm.
Another question. Do you have sandbags in your gun safe? I mean, in case the heat,
I have
in the scene.
as far as weight or as far as just.
Far as dissipating the fire, if the fire hits I forgot. Do they
Oh no,
still
I
have
don't even
those?
think about sandbags in my safe. I just base it off the fact that it's because our safes already got like that concrete slabs in them and all that
Yeah.
stuff on the sides,
Okay.
and the main part is the door. Yeah, because
Hmm.
lots of people may have a storage cabinet versus an actual
Yeah.
safe, right?
Yeah.
So you want to get a safe that'll tell you that's fire resistant, because a lot of safes may not necessarily be, and usually the ones that are fire resistant are the heaviest. My
Heavy.
safe weighs
Yeah.
1,100 pounds dry,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you look at what, and it'll tell you, if it's fire safe, it'll tell you how long it's good for
Mhm.
and the amount of degrees it's on. So you want to make sure you have that, because I know a lot of us got cabinets, and there is a way you could also fireproof. If you had just one of those regular cabinets, you could fireproof it and make it theft proof. You could turn a simple fire cabinet, a simple gun cabinet,
Hmm.
into a fireproof to a degree. It won't be 1,400 degrees, but you can get like sheetrock and stuff like that to cover in there. You also can put rocks and stuff to make it theft proof, because ain't nobody trying to mess with no safe that weighs 500 pounds. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So you could do a lot of stuff that you can. If you don't have like the when you open it up, you have the I can't think of it, the latches inside that go into your safe.
Right.
You could
Hmm.
also do some stuff where you can wrap. You can get a just makeshift and wrap around and have a lock on the side. You could do stuff like that as well to kind of
Yeah.
make it as theft proof and as fireproof as possible. Because I know everybody ain't trying to spend thousands of dollars on the safe if you don't have to, but you could get a safe and put that kind of work in. It's somehow the stuff out there, and I'll dig and get the information. But I've also added weight to my safe. I threw like 200 pounds worth of rocks and stone at the bottom of it as well to keep it heavy,
Yeah.
right? Because you see people be flipping safes over and stuff like that. And yeah, an expert may do that stuff and they show you, but try flipping an 1,100-pound safe and that falls on your ass, you in trouble.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
So you got to be real careful with this stuff. So that's kind of the stuff that I do. But the sandbags, I didn't even think about that. That's kind of I have to do that. That
Yeah.
sounds cool.
We had some in the service where we had to put the things in. We had to look, and they
Mhm.
come in and grade them, and they had these racks on top where they had the sand, and they put the caps on the top of the rifles.
Oh wow.
So you put the caps on top of your rifles, or take the squeegees and
Mhm.
put them in each of the rifle. So if a fire hits, it busts the sand goes down and protects the
Oh wow, I
weapons.
like that.
Oh,
Do
that's
that.
dope. Yeah.
Probably do that with
Yeah,
it also do that with a regular cabinet as well. That could also help
yeah,
to a degree
yeah.
because
That sand
if
death
you have a
effects.
major fire, except that you're going to lose your firearm,
Yeah,
except unless you got a couple on you, except you're going to lose them. So have your insurance up to par, and just wish for the best because we in a fire. I would love to save my guns, but my life is I can replace the guns.
Okay.
yeah.
So,
And
like,
go to the
I'm sorry.
no. I said, and also go to these gun shows and go to the old side section and see if you can get those fire retardant blankets,
Yes,
those smoke blankets and stuff like that, because they have them there. Make sure
gun
you get
shows
those
are
smoke
really
blankets.
good sources of places to go to get some imp stuff. It ain't just about the guns. It's like you said, it's
Yeah,
about safes. It's about camping supplies, fire supplies. It's got everything you could use,
yeah,
to, protect you and your stuff as long as possible. You know,
yeah.
you ain't gonna save everything, but you save one or two of them.
My Fi family asked a question, and I'm going to tell them myself. If anybody doesn't know, I was an evil bad kid when I was little, so the statute of limitations has expired on this. But I told the story how my mom had a 357 that she kept in the drawer. Well, me being an inquisitive kid, I wanted to see what would happen if I took one of those rounds and we had the floor radiator type heaters underneath the floor. So I would drop the 357 rounds in there and turn the heat up to maximum. So on average, it would be about 5 to 7 minutes before BAM! And you hear choo 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 choo. I was like,
Yeah.
I went down there in like 5 to 7 minutes. So yeah, not a very smart thing to do, especially since that was gas and
Yeah, gas.
But
Yeah.
I did it about 3 times, and I was like, well, that might not be too safe. So
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about at 100. If regular temperatures outside, 100 and something degrees is not going to do anything to.
yeah,
Think about Think about those sprinkler systems,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Heat isn't going to set it off. It's a direct flame that's
yeah,
going to set it off in most cases.
exactly.
And the part that you got to worry about catching that heat is the primer. That's the initial thing you got to worry about catching. I mean, because the brass will get hot enough, the lead can get hot enough, but the biggest thing you got to worry about is the primer can take it.
Yeah.
As soon as that primer busts, it's going to ignite that powder.
Exactly.
And then it's all in cracking,
Yeah.
literally, right? So if you got a lot of rounds and your house catches on fire, get the hell away from your house. You're going to have a lot of stuff going around. Ping, 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 like you said, BP back in the day doing juvenile stuff.
It was an experiment. It was a science experiment. I was doing it.
Hey, my fly family said, Poindexter, I was going to invite you for Thanksgiving, but nah.
You're gonna be dropping.
Oh, man.
Science. All right.
This is
Oh,
crazy.
man.
Throwing it right in your daggone your furnace and stuff where the daggone where the flame light, the igniter lights up and shoots those flames. You have a round right there.
I'm like, I could have blew up the whole house.
You could have blew the whole house up, man. That's
Wow.
don't even
They
not
would hit a
Put
gas
the ammo
line.
up. That's the
oh,
lesson.
that would have been
Put
bad.
the ammo up away from your kids because they might be bad like me. So
Oh, absolutely.
You got that Poindexter syndrome. Hell, I'm gonna try this.
Yeah.
Let's cook some shotgun rounds.
But it does take a significant amount of heat to get to that point. That's the safety mechanism on it,
Mhm. So would it be safe to say to do a digital book for your guns where you can scan your receipts and put everything in there?
Receipts. I have some of my receipts. And also, I have a spreadsheet, which I may do a video on or something like that, where it actually has, the serial number, type, make and model of the gun, serial number, and then price of what it currently costs in many cases. Not what you paid for it, what it currently costs.
But you know what? Hookah, I learned something. Where I normally get my weapons from, I went in and say, hey man, can you pull up the ones that I just bought from y'all? And lo and behold, they pull it up.
That's another
time,
good thing too.
the date, the serial number. When you're like, wow, they pull all that information up for you.
Because
it's
the
just like
someone facts,
Yeah.
man. That's big. That's a good joint too. Because the paper joints, the 4473s, they hold up to 5 years.
Yeah.
Many places.
Wow.
But when it's on a computer, it's forever because you never know when you're gonna get audited.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then they will tell you once they done with the paperwork, it's done. But they save that paperwork due to law enforcement
yeah,
purposes, saying you like, hey man, my stuff got stolen and I was here. Well, your gun was shot at the club last night, you know. No, I don't go to no club, but you know, go shoot point blank or wherever you got it from, Dave's shotgun, you know. Hey, here's the information.
oh yeah, they'll show enough because they'll go to the spot you bought it from before they go to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
That's
yeah.
good. That's facts. That's a good point, man. Yeah, man. So it's like it's a Tactical Tangerine had a good product. That book, that is
That's what I'm asking because I did get the book.
Mhm.
I'm waiting for it to come in the mail, but I'm saying like we're talking about fire, so like what if the book got caught up in the fire? No.
Do a spreadsheet, email it to yourself.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Put it on a USB, maybe put that in a safe deposit box or something like that. Have a couple of those, you know. So
Very valid point. Safe deposit box really good, and have multiple copies though.
yeah, always
Have you a
have
hard
backup to
copy
the backup to
as
the
well as a
backup.
soft copy.
Yeah.
And put it in your cloud if you can. If you
Yeah.
put it in the cloud, you're good.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So it's a
Google
lot of work.
Drive.
It's a lot of work, and I haven't updated in a while. You know, it's been a while since I updated it, but and I know it gets tough to write all that stuff down. The best thing to do if you want the easiest way, if you want to record your stuff, is your phone has most of the phones now, or most devices have a where you could do a speaker, right? You hit the little microphone and you can write it and you can speak it in. It may not spell it correctly 100% of the time, but it's a lot easier to correct the spelling of certain things than it is to have to type the whole thing out, right? So you just do it very slowly. If you say it very slowly, you'll get it. And then you can go in there and do and have it on a nice sheet. You can email it to yourself on a nice sheet. And also it's a simple fact of copy paste into the spreadsheet. And sometimes it'll line itself up for you in those specific charts. It takes a little bit of work, but it's worth it to keep track of your stuff. Like I said, I got to update mine, which is and keep a track of all, not just your guns, but all your accessories, your bags, your optics, what's going on, see, your simplest things like roll pins. Anything that you buy, take accountability for all that you have because you can insure yourself for all that. You know what I mean?
I did that the other day, and I was surprised how much money I spent on accessories.
True.
It was like, my goodness, what the? So,
that's facts. People think of just guns and ammo. They don't think about that enough roll pins or a hammer spring or a daggone hell, just a simple I don't know. For your charging handle on your AK, you get that little piece that goes over it. That's
money.
That stuff costs money, So you want to definitely make sure that stuff is covered under your insurance, and you could add that to the value of your gun or what it would cost to replace it. So it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's a lot of work, but it's better to have it, and then when you get reimbursed on the other, and then just be out.
Right. Because even with ammo, same thing. You want to count for it. You may not get. They may not compensate you for it, but like just BP just says, inventory it and have that stuff just in case. Because it's still part of your gun stuff. So you want to have your here we go. House of Siege, come on in. House of Siege, about that insurance. But you know what?
Okay, I got
what? House of Siege and BP, there's none of that naughty stuff today.
Come on, Siege. I'll hop off. I could drop links and stuff.
Come on in, Siege. I like Siege. She whoop your ass.
Again, I do a monthly inventory. I don't know if you guys can see it. A monthly inventory of what I have, how many rounds, yada, yada, yada. And I update that at least once a month and put it in there. So I know what my ammo counts are in-house.
Yeah, that's what you're a firearms instructor, right? Isn't that part of your job? So would your ammo be considered part of your equipment, and then it can be insured?
That's a good question. I think I guess what Steve says, you can't get replacement value unless it's over $500 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
If he wants to come in, I could drop off. If you want to
No,
come
no,
in.
no. I'm dropping on if you're staying on because I got to drop links.
If you got a
Come on,
box
Steve.
of or something like that, you know, you but if you got like cases of it, you know,
And
so no
storage.
case
How do you guys
included.
handle storage of all that ammo? I'm struggling to store that.
It's hard. I got like these I got not two for most of it. I got two big old, these giant plastic toolboxes, hard that may withstand any water, but it ain't shit for a fire.
Yeah.
You can also look
Yeah.
at doing like I want to get those giant. I also have like a metal cabinet, but I wouldn't trust that for a fire. Also, I'm thinking about getting those hazmat boxes.
Containers.
Yeah, those containers, hazmat containers, not the ones with the cages, but the one that you close on top, where you can put like your not your kerosene, like your gas and stuff like that. Those also are kind of flame retardant or fireproof for just a little bit. That's also another thing that we can think about getting as well to store the ammo.
Yeah.
And get small ones and scatter it throughout your house.
Yeah.
I'm notorious for having a bulk of my ammo in one place, but I do got places where I have ammo all over the house, but they're out. You know what I mean? So I got to be a little bit more secure on that myself.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's a continual
process. Ammo containers with heat shields. Let me see that.
And in Delaware, so you can build your own too. Just make sure it's moisture controlled. So
now, what are you guys using for moisture? Are you using the electronic, the humidifiers, or
using those golden rods,
or a combination of all that?
Golden rods, the other little dehumidifiers, anything I possibly could use, but mostly the golden rods. They kind of work. And I use my have my meter that reads how long the humidity is in there, and you keep it below like 42%.
42%.
You'll be.
That was a question too. Yeah, what percentage is considered optimal? Good, so 42%.
Yeah, and then ammunition. Make sure you got some deskins in there. And what's a good thing too, also, if you got them in the closet, there's a thing that you can get from Walmart for $3. You can hang on your coat rack in your closet, and it looks like it's a moisture, but it's little balls, and it would liquefy, making sure you don't have any dampness or anything, moisture in the house.
I'll do that.
Because the AC unit accumulates that, especially in a closet.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's info that we need to know and push out, man, that we got.
Yeah, facts, man. That's definitely something like that. Said House of Siege. Siege up say. Come on in, Siege.
Yeah, come on in. I dropped the link. Let me drop it again. Anybody feeling free to come on in?
Yeah, I gotta call those ever dried tube dehumidifiers, Del Rey. Yeah, you plug it in there and they'll dry it out and you can do it again. Because those bad boys will. If you got a lot of humidity, them bad boys will let you know. Those are good for if the power does go out. Those are definitely great substitutes, at least for the time being. And it's just recharging and will suck, but and every little bit helps.
I got a big old ups. I don't know if I'm gonna pull it out and use it, but I know that thing took me through a lot of blackouts in the house. It's the ups units for the desktop or laptop or anything like that, but you can hook that thing up, TV, everything, keep it running.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the price point on those have come down a lot, so that's really good.
Nice. And the thing I'm gonna do also in my next house is I'm gonna convert one of my rooms. This guy.
Yeah.
What up?
Hey,
hey man, listen. I just had to come in because this is called the OG Alive session. You know what I'm saying? So I had to come in and show the OG some respect.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I mean, you an OG too. You ain't no millennial or no shit like that.
No, listen. I'm an OG to some people.
Right.
Y'all my OGs.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'm not much. Yeah. I'm not that much older than you, but I'll take it.
I'm old as hell.
Well, I mean, you was acting like you was last night. You was acting like you was way older than me the way you was talking.
Well, I am way older than you, but not that much older than you.
Gotcha.
No.
Hey, yeah,
How's it
man.
going,
We all
brother? How you
good.
doing?
Thank
How
you,
you
though,
doing,
man.
man? You the
Hey,
ammo OG though.
I know, man. Put
Yeah,
out that
yeah.
information, you know.
Hey,
hey,
thank you,
man.
man.
I had to find my niche, man. You know.
Right.
Hey, I got a question for y'all. Is there anybody gonna do a video on what ammo is quality good for mid range, short range, and long range?
Oh, man, I could do that.
Yeah,
That's you,
Okay,
gun.
that's
Who
good
could
to
that
know.
do?
okay,
I can do
That's good
that.
to
Oh,
know.
okay. I can make that pop,
okay.
man.
Because a
You
lot
gave
of
me
All
times
right,
an
I'm
we
idea
trying to
for
get into the long
you.
range, and I don't know. You know, I hear about this different types of ammo, but
you
I
know
don't know for a
the
308.
quality of it, man, because they sell a lot now, and a lot they ain't gonna tell you that is what is it called reloads.
Oh,
So you
you
got to
got
watch out now.
careful with them. I
Yeah.
found out the hard way
Well,
about reloads because I was when me and Jay the shooter did our 50 for 50 challenge. I had 50 Beowulf reloads. And they were good until I got the one and it blew out the bottom of my magazine, thankfully, because
Ooh.
I could have wore that bolt in my cheek.
that could have gone.
Mm.
That could have gone real bad. So it blew out the bottom and I felt something. When I shot, I was like, what the? And I looked and my magazine had this giant bulge in the bottom of it and the bottom was blown out of it. It came out the bottom of the mag. So you gotta be careful with reloads. The best reloads to shoot are the ones that you do yourself.
Yeah.
You are definitely taking chances if you buy somebody else's reloads.
Yeah.
Because the reason when I asked that question, man, I was going to the range and something say, man, check that box of ammo. I started looking, and I started finding 2 or 3 rounds that looking like they were real old in the front. And I'm like, what the hell? So, okay, let me next, notify everybody. Just check your boxes. Make sure your ammo, your tips or your rounds are looking up to date.
I got a
Because that
couple.
looked like it was underwater for a while.
I got a couple of 50 BMGs that were looking a little shoddy, and I'm like, you know what?
Nah.
I'm gonna shoot these because I got a bow.
Yeah.
And see, you may have a little bit of leeway when you shooting semi-automatic because you got that recoil spring. You got a little wiggle room. I mean, it can still be, detriment. It can still be devastating, but with a bolt, it ain't going nowhere, right?
Yeah.
So if that thing goes off, you might be wearing that bolt. I mean, prime example with Kentucky Ballistics, right?
Yeah.
He had the 150 BMG. That's the breech loader that you screw on the cap.
Oh yeah.
In, and I think it's up to 80,000. I think I was told that up to 80,000 psi. Some of them loads could be loaded real hot, and that slap tracer was hot. And when he squeezed that trigger, it stripped all and it just blew back and broke his nose. And that one piece, the hinges.
Penetrated his chest,
some of his jugular just about, man. Yeah. Thank God for his thumb and his reaction because it could have, and his dad being out there with him because it could have been ugly, man. It's one of those shit happens moments. It's not that you could do, to correct that. That's just a shit happens moment,
Yeah, just glad he's with us.
I mean, all that I can say is like, use reputable brands. We all want to save money on ammo, but how much are you really saving per round? If it's a 5% difference, you buy enough rounds, it's a difference. But I mean, you can search out here and find ammo for decent prices without using reloads.
Gotcha. I feel you. Just wanted to bring that up part of Survival Saturday when people go looking for ammo. The mother say, "Man, I got 50 rounds for $5." Well, you better go check that, man.
Man, check that ammo. Yeah, man. Because I'm
what is it? 7.62? Well, no, go check that, bro.
Hey, what y'all think about? What's y'all opinion on like steel and aluminum ammo?
I had some good stuff, man.
Yeah, steel is 7.62 by 3.9. Steel is.
I use steel in all my AKs. That's all I ever use.
Wonderful.
Never been brass in any of my AKs.
Because AKs don't even like brass that much. SKS AKs, they don't like brass at all. They will cinch up on you. Everything. The best time to use like brass is in ARs. ARs love brass. Yeah. You can use steel, and it'll beat your bolt up. Just buy more bolts, man. You'll be fine. Yeah. It doesn't beat up too bad.
I shoot the crap out of steel, and like in my handguns, I shoot aluminum a lot. Like if I find it for the right price, it's usually a lot cheaper. Like maybe like if you buy a 50-round box, it'd be like sometimes $5 cheaper a box.
Yeah, I had some aluminum 9mm rounds. They're pretty good. I got steel 9mm.
I may try it in my 9 mils. I may try it.
Yeah. Aluminum sometimes they like to fight the follower on the mag sometimes.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're good. They let you know how good your magazines are.
Yeah. And that's the other thing.
I tell anybody, my thing is if your gun, to me, my opinion on steel, aluminum, if your gun don't run it, my whole thing is I just wanted to be reliable. It needs to eat everything.
Yeah.
I've never tried it like my HKs. I never any of my.
I ran aluminum 9mm.
I do want to try it though. That's a good point. I need to try it.
It runs it pretty good out of my Jonix and Glocks. Run it pretty good. Steel, I use it out. But steel and brass, I use it in my Tokarev 7.62 25. I use those type of rounds, and it runs. Usually, the older guns, you find the older guns run a lot of that stuff because they run into old Milsurp ammo, and there was no limit on powder. They stuffed it with powder. You know what I mean? So those guns were built to take that kind of punishment. Some of these newer guns aren't built for that. They'll snap on you and bulge up on you. Barrels get destroyed. From that stuff. So you want to definitely be careful. Like you said, if your gun don't run it.
Yeah.
Steel versus aluminum. Have you seen the difference?
Not really. I haven't.
Either or. Okay.
I've never had any issue. No malfunctions, no jamming, nothing.
I'm gonna buy some because I almost bought them the other day and I was like,
So Larry asked about the cartridges wrapped in plastic or PVC. I saw Hootie Who has a video he did with some rounds that are wrapped in that kind of material. I forgot what caliber it was, but they ran pretty good. They're expensive rounds, but they ran pretty good.
Yeah, the Monarch offshoots, they have that coating on it, that polymer coating and stuff like that. Is that what he's talking about?
I think so. What's that heat?
Yeah. I have something right here.
I have had some, I'm gonna say on pistol rounds, some of the environmental stuff. They talking about for range targets and all that.
Like lead free and all that.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I got a box somewhere. Hold on, I got a box there.
I was like, what in the world?
Nah, I tried some because I heard the same thing. Hold on, I got something here somewhere. Hold on.
That mother start keyholing your target.
Fly. Fly Fam talking about he had issues. The only thing he had issue with hollow points.
Yeah, I got some of that.
Okay.
I
got some of that. Funny.
It runs, man. I ran probably 200-300 rounds of this. Nothing, no problem.
I had to get that. That's what I'm saying. I had to get that, but the stuff I had before was the biodegradable because that's gray. I had some with the greenish looking stuff on the front of it. That's the ones with the gray tips. They run good. But that green stuff I had, I was like, what in the world, man?
This Monarchist that has that coated.
Yeah.
And it shoots so far so good.
But like I said, ammunition is. I never had. I'm be honest with you. Every weapon I have, I never had a problem. Now, magazine wise, I've had some magazines follows. Yeah, but weapon wise, I never had trouble with any weapon.
How y'all feel about
Big Fish? I don't run steel a whole lot out of like ARs. I run out of AK, SKS, and my other Milsurp. I run steel through them, especially my bolt actions, because you ain't got to worry about cycling issues when it comes to a bolt gun, because it's manual. So, but as far as like ARs, that's why I say I talk trash about ARs, even though I got ARs, but I talk trash about them because they are very, very high maintenance firearms, and you got to be you'll beat them bolts up using steel rounds. But my boy said, "Hey, I have a friend that runs." He said, "Just buy another bolt."
Man, I run the crap out of steel in my AR. I run the crap out of it. I probably shot more steel through my AR than brass.
But see, AKs have got heavy barrels, and they were designed a long time ago when I learned about it. And learning about them, that they were designed to shoot linked ammo during the test. Their barrels was tested with linked ammo. So that's why they can shoot anything. They don't do that for ARs.
They sure enough don't. You're talking like a 10-year, maybe 8 to 10-year difference. And when they came out, 47 came out in 1940. I mean, it rolled out in 47, obviously, but they were being tested in 1946, where the AR platform, the AR-15 specifically, came out in 1957. Right, so you're talking about a 10-year difference, and people don't realize initially the military declined even one ARs because they did the AR-10 for that and the AR-15. They initially declined it. They were like, we don't want that shit. The Air Force, shout out to the Air Force, they're the ones that said, let me get a couple of them because of the mobility, because they're lighter. You know,
and they didn't have that stupid forward assist. Why are you going to jam something into a gun that's not functioning?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Why you want to
force it in there?
Air Force. Yeah, Air Force like, that doesn't make sense. No, we don't want it. Army was like, we want it. We don't care. Just keep jamming.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I just want to stop in and show respect to y'all, man.
Thank you for coming back.
Be good, man.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one, bro. All right, y'all.
You too.
All right.
Army was, our AR-10 was going to be the one, but they liked them M14s, man. They kept them for a long time.
I love it. Yeah, that's my favorite. One of my favorite platforms, M14.
Mm-hmm.
First rifle I qualified with the 22 expert, but M14 was like right behind it in the 45s.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, I was in the M16A1 era in the 1911s before they went to the M9s, and now whatever they got now.
I just tell anybody out there in the chat world, just be safe on the ammunition. Know your ammunition too. Also, that's part of surviving too. Making sure that your rounds, and check your barrels sometime. You know, make sure you get your bore erosion gauge for those guys out there that have long-term, rifles and stuff like that. Make sure
headspace
that does matter.
AKs, get a headspace gauge so you can tell whether or not that thing's expanding on you. So you can get in there, fit it in there, make sure, especially on those that don't have the reinforced, the headspace gauge, so you can tell whether or not that thing's expanding on you. Get in there, fit it in there, make sure, especially on those that don't have the reinforced, the headspace gauge, so you can tell whether or not that thing's expanding on you. Get in there, fit it in there, make sure, especially on those that don't have the reinforced, the headspace gauge, so you can.
That's probably cute.
Yeah.
I hate my voice.
It's me.
My voice 5 times. It's like,
Sorry.
Make sure you have
ammo. Let's talk about shotguns.
Dude.
Every shotgun, you could be the same brand of shotgun, will shoot the same type of ammo differently. So you have to go out and pattern your shotguns, see how they perform, see how they function. So test different types of ammo because it's going to function differently in every, shotgun that you have. So get out there and test that.
Especially the ones that you plan on using, right? For
defense. Make sure that stuff works, man.
Yeah. I got some guns that I don't not using for home defense.
Yeah.
I'm not. They're just guns for show and tell and talking and enjoying.
Some of
the guns that you plan on using as your go-tos, you better make sure them bad boys work.
You don't want that pattern over here or just jamming up. It's like,
oops,
I'm sorry, my bad.
Right.
You don't want that.
It's a lot of work, man. We don't think about it, but if we start doing enough of it, because we're all guilty of it, man. So but it's just something, even if you've been doing it a while, you'll forget. You'll get
get comfortable.
Complacency is a beast, man.
It'll kill you every time, man.
Yep. Let's see. What is your go-to shotty? But this is for you, BP. What is your go-to shotty?
Right now, I'm gonna have to still say it's my Beretta 1301 Tactical, but my 590 Mossberg Mariner is right behind it.
Nice.
So those are my two favorites. I like the pump because you could put the short shells in there and increase their capacity, and no matter what, it's going to cycle. But right now, that 1301 is rock solid. I've had no issues. We did that 1,000-round torture test, and it met it with no problems. And I've had no issues and all kinds of ammo in there. So, but those two are close. I like the pump because again, you can increase your load with the short shells and not have to worry about cycling. So for a first-time person, but you have to again train on it. and put those rounds to it to see what works. So,
Yep.
but right now I'd say the Beretta has it edged out a little bit.
Hi, Nakila.
Because he has the 930. The 930. 930 is a good semi-automatic platform. I have the 930 SPX. Mossberg 500 is definitely a good pump gun. Remington. I have a Remington 870. I have a few Mossberg 500s. I have a few other pumps. I'm actually going to take them out because some of those Turkish pumps are not bad pieces. They could take an ass whooping. Turks, no, because they do a lot of competition shooting with the shotguns, a lot of trap and all that stuff. So they make some pretty decent. And then, of course, they get, the blueprints from the expensive stuff. So they cut out a lot of the R&D because they get it. So
it's the same gun technically.
Same gun, but it's just they're cheaper because the R&D is where the money's at.
Yeah.
I got a couple of shotguns I got to take out, some of the budget-friendly ones that will take a beating.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yep.
That 88 Mossberg is a good, solid, low cost.
Exactly.
That's get out there and you'll take a beating, and you can go up to the 500 or the 590 like I have, or 590 A1 or some of the other ones. But those, I'm partial to Mossbergs. I just always love those, but. There are a lot of good shotguns, but you got to, again, take them out and get comfortable with shooting them so you're not short stroking them and stuff like that. Get out there and practice. Whatever you have, you got to use it to make it work. So.
I like to shout out to Nakila Asha, my daughter there. She's life sculpting, and those people that have stress and everything, go check her out. She does the, meditation, relaxation, all that stuff. So,
There we go.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
That's part of Survival Saturday.
You got to have that mental and spiritual well-being. You got to have it. Got to have
big
all
facts.
Yeah,
that's important.
So, real quick, Sheesh and Shenanigans has a new page.
Yeah.
Yep. But on this one, just go to my Gun and Hookah because StreamYard, they got to process it. So, Sheesh Shenanigans, I'm about to jump off here too, so I'm getting ready for that. And just go to my Gun and Hookah joint, and you'll see it on there. But for the next one, Sheesh Shenanigans, shout out to Carbon Q for just the amazing work that she does.
Thank you.
Really MVP, the real MVP.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Carbon Q, for letting me know about the shenanigans. What time is your shenanigans today?
It's actually at 7 o'clock. So when you get done with this, don't rush it. When you get done with this coming over, we'll be till like 8:15, 8:30 the latest.
Juice is coming on right after you.
And then Juice will probably be on after. And check out Juice's truck driving. I didn't get in contact with him, but assume he's going to be doing something. Right? So I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here so I get ready for that. Might be starting to minutes late, but whatever. It's our stuff. We do what we do. But I appreciate you, MHP, BP, Carbon Q especially. Everybody in the chat, I'll see y'all. Come out, let Gun and Hookah. This will be the last one on Gun and Hookah because Sheesh Shenanigans is its own entity. Shout out to my boy Dre. He dropped a mouthful in the last video we did. So trust me. I'll see y'all in about. Don't jump off here yet, man. Stay, listen to listen to
we
it,
all
man.
good, man. We gonna follow you on over there.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
Did you check out Lady Wick's video?
Man, we're shooting the saw. Yeah, she getting it in. That's good. She's blowing up, man. I'm low key doing things. Coming in the game 3 months. They got like
right.
Low key. That's some fly shit, man. She look pretty good.
Oh man.
Lady
she's blowing up, man. So definitely look out for her stuff. Check out the video. But I gotta get out of here, y'all. I'll see y'all in about 20 minutes, whatever. All right.
Okay. Peace out.
Peace out.
Yeah, that's good. So everybody leave here. Just go on and follow Guns and the Hookah.
Yep.
And yeah, man, we did it once again.
I apologize. The links for some reason are not working today. So
it's all good. No problem. No worry. Yeah, we'll work on that. No problem. We good. We got another Saturday under our belt with the crowd and the 2A family and community. Carbon Q, Black Poindexter. Thank all of y'all.
Coming through, guys.
All you guys.
We will see everybody.
Bye.
Same time. Same next Saturday. Y'all peace out. Take care. Peace.